Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're kicking off an exciting new series where I'll be rating all the reworked fruits in every sea of Blox fruits. With the recent updates, some of these fruits got crazy buffs and new abilities, so it's time we take a deep dive and see how they really perform across the first, second, and third seas. In this part 1, we're starting with the falcon fruit. Yes, the one everyone used to ignore, but is it finally worth using now? Let's find out how well it performs in each sea and give it a fair rating. And remember, this is just the beginning. Part 2 will cover creation, and part 3 will focus on the insane gravity rework. So hit that sub button and let's jump right in. But hey, before we dive into the ratings and see how Eagle, performs across the seas, let's first take a quick look at what this reworked fruit can actually do. Here's a full showcase of all its abilities. Check this out. Alright, now that you've seen the full power of the eagle fruit after its rework, let's break it down sea by sea. So let's start with the first sea. Now in the first sea, NPCs aren't that strong, and that's exactly where the eagle fruit shines. Its M1s are super powerful, almost like you're firing a gun, and the best part? They're spammable. You can rain down attacks even while flying, which makes farming and grinding a breeze. Plus, all the moves and M1s work mid-air, giving you a serious advantage in both mobility and PvP. Now yes, the damage isn't insanely high, but it's definitely not bad either. It's consistent and reliable, and with how spammable the moves are, you can easily overwhelm your enemies. When it comes to bosses, the eagle fruit holds up really well. The aerial advantage lets you avoid most ground-based boss attacks, and the constant M1 pressure chips away at their health without letting them recover. Just keep your distance, fly smart, and you'll farm bosses easily, especially enemies like the Gorilla King or Bobby. Overall, for the first sea, the eagle fruit is a very solid option, great for grinding, decent in PvP, and surprisingly effective against bosses. I'd easily rate it A tier or even low S tier here. Moving on to the second sea, things start to get a bit tougher. NPCs here have more HP and deal more damage, so you need fruits that can handle constant pressure, and surprisingly, eagle still holds up. Its M1s are still fast and spammable, which is useful for grinding groups of enemies like those in the Kingdom of Rose or the factory staff. You can keep your distance, stay airborne, and chip away without taking too much damage. But here's the real test, the bosses. In this sea, they're more aggressive and have better abilities. Thankfully, eagle's flight lets you stay out of range while still dishing out M1s and abilities. For example, bosses like Don Swan and Jeremy are a lot easier to manage when you keep moving in the air and keep spamming. In PvP, eagle becomes slightly less dominant here due to the meta shifting toward faster burst fruits and better crowd control abilities. But with the right movement and timing, eagle can still be super annoying to deal with, especially if your aim is good and you don't just sit still. So overall in the second sea, the eagle fruit is still strong, maybe not top tier like leopard or doe, but definitely B+ to A tier, and still a great pick for grinding and mobility. Now let's talk about the third sea, where things really start getting intense. The NPCs and bosses here are no joke. They have higher health, faster moves, and stronger abilities. So how does the eagle fruit perform here? Starting with grinding, even in the third sea, eagle's fast and spammable M1s combined with aerial mobility make it a solid choice. You can float above enemies, avoid most attacks, and keep up the pressure without touching the ground. Whether you're at Hydro Island or floating turtle, it keeps farming smooth and safe. Now let's move to bosses. Eagle is great at taking them down safely. You can dodge almost everything by staying airborne while raining down attacks. It's especially helpful against aggressive bosses like Kilo Admiral or Captain Elephant. It might take some time due to the lower ore damage, but it's consistent and safe. And now for PvP. This fruit is actually underrated. The M1s are fast and work in the air, which throws off many opponents. Plus, its mobility lets you play aggressively or defensively depending on the situation. The fact that the moves are spammable and can break instinct makes Eagle a real threat in 1v1 fights if you're skilled with movement. It punishes players who can't aim fast or keep up. So in the third C, Eagle is a surprisingly strong all-rounder. Great for grinding, solid for bossing, and genuinely dangerous in PvP if you master it. I'd honestly give it a low A tier or high B tier here. So that wraps up our full breakdown of the Eagle fruit across all 3 C's in bloxfruits. From smooth grinding in the first C, to surprising power in PvP during the third C, Eagle really showed it's more than just a flying fruit. Let me know in the comments. Do you agree with the rankings, or do you think Eagle deserves more or less hype? And hey, this is just part 1. In part 2, we'll dive deep into the creation fruit and see how it performs in every C. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss it. I'll also be dropping the link to this full fruit rating series in the comments once all parts are out. Till then, stay sharp, stay strong, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.